Okay. To bá ti work with me bẹ́ẹ̀.
So that tí ó lè mọ̀ sọ̀rọ̀ síta.
Wá ẹgbẹ́ lè wo lórí fóònù. Tẹ́ máa máa wo kọ̀ǹpútà yín. Not a problem. Ẹ jọ ń
He meant well.
Yes, sir.
So just take care. Don't worry, sir.
Hello, sir.
Ẹ jọ ń torí Ọlọ́run, if you have a phone, please put it on silence. Nobody should call you at this period. I want you to talk to me as I'm talking to you, but don't let anybody call you unless if it's an emergency, please.
Okay, sir.
We have a lot of things to walk through, and I will go very fast. I'll try as much as possible to slow down because I don't have that level of patience, but I'll try. I'll try my best. The approach is. Thank you. So the approach is when it's time for assignments, we'll send you a file, or for practice, we send you a file. You take that file, you do exactly what I'm doing, and you have like 5 minutes to do it. I will make sure that we are not spending more than 5 minutes on it because we have a lot of things to cover. If you don't get it, go and catch up with somebody else later or go and watch YouTube video about it. So we get started. This is 608. So I was already to you. First time I will actually run this and I will be able to comfortably speak Yoruba and English with it. And the fact that I can speak in Yoruba means that so I was already to you. So where's my just like I don't know, some of you know me, some of you don't know me. It's all right. My name is Victor. My background is in electrical engineering before I crossed into data science. So when I finished electrical and I felt like, oh yeah, the next trend of things is going to be, Kule, can you mute your mic, please? Kule,
yeah,
mute your mic, please. Thank you. So when I finished electrical engineering and, every other person that graduated with me felt like they want to go and take job in the engineering field. I felt like I saw the next trend of things to be data. So I decided to not proceed doing a postgraduate degree in electrical engineering, and I decided to go and do data science. So doing data science, there is, to be very honest, there is no special qualification for you to be a data scientist. A majority of us that came into data science came from different fields, different worlds. We have psychologists, people that did Greek. Kule is an example. They all came into the data world, and everybody as a data analyst or a data scientist, we are all unique. The reason why we are unique is that we came from different backgrounds. So me as an electrical engineer by training, being a data analyst or a data scientist, wherever I find myself, I am very different from somebody that did social sciences and they are just pure data analyst or data science. If I get into the power world or the engineering world, I would perform better than somebody that did social science. And that's what makes us different. So today, if you learn data science or data analysis or data whatever, what will make you very unique is what you have before now. It's not that the data analysis is what is going to make you better. No, what you know before now is what is going to make the difference between yourself. So I decided that I love data visualization. So I tried to skill up on it. And I think as I got better, things started getting clearer. So far, so good. I've worked in different organizations. I've worked with the UK government, worked in different bank. I've worked with the UK central bank called the Bank of England. I worked with the FCA, which is the financial regulator. I've worked in different organizations. Let's just keep it that way. You'll find it very funny. I decided to put these tools there for you guys so that you can have an understanding of things I use at work are strictly Excel. Excel is the biggest tool you have to deal with. I can tell you all day up till 1 minute before this meeting, I've been battling with Excel. So you can understand how important Excel is. So if you don't know Excel, please, you may have to catch up very fast with it. Excel is the biggest thing. Excel is even going to change in the next few months, and that you will have to start writing Python code in Excel. So if you think Excel, like, oh, I don't really need it, I think you better sit up. And within this space, the more you stop learning, the more irrelevant you become. You have to keep learning. There is no excuse for not learning. You have to learn, and you have to do what they call self-learning. I can teach you, but if you stop where I stopped teaching you, that means you are not going to learn anything. And if you get a job in the next 1-2 years, they are probably going to fire you because you are not very useful to the business anymore. That's it. You learn Power BI, or I use Power BI. I use SQL once in a blue moon, to be very honest. And PowerPoint is another very relevant stuff. So as a data analyst, I can tell you for free, it's very rare for you to run out of job because there is a huge demand for data analysts, for most data roles. And in my own case, I work mostly from home. In some countries, you have to do hybrid. In some countries, you have to go to work. But regardless of it, it's a very convenient job. In most cases, you are the boss of yourself. The reason why you're the boss of yourself is that, for example, the job I started very recently, I'm the only person that understands data in the whole organization. So I just tell them, your job will be ready next week. And everybody just believes it because now I have to use my time the way I want it. Nobody's looking at me. But, it doesn't mean you have to be lazy. Sometimes it gives you more responsibility. But I think I've spent about 4 minutes on this. So let's go. So what do data analysts do? Your job is strictly to collect data and turn it into visualizations for the organization. You have to be able to communicate that data to them and give them insight, help them gain insights to say, okay, you guys gave us your sales data and we realized that in Kano, they are eating more kuli than Gari. So therefore, let's supply more kuli to Kano. Something like that. That's the kind of job you do. And you have to be able to talk to stakeholders. It's not just that it's not just that you just be looking at the data and just be in your own whatever. Ability to communicate most of the time is very is underestimated. But you really, really need to be able to talk to your stakeholders, your managers, your senior managers, and be able to senior management people, and be able to tell them, hey guys, if you guys don't take decisions based on this stuff that I've shown you, this company is going to collapse in the next 5 months, and everybody, they have to kind of listen to you. As a data analyst, or let's say data science or data related role, these are the salary scales depending on where you find yourself. Most of the time, I use the US as a very good benchmark because they pay more in the US than every other place. However, there are so many, depending on where you live in the US, there are state tax and there are federal tax, depending. Yeah. But a data analyst earns between 180, they earn 180,000, they earn $80,000 according to Northeastern University. For you knowing how to do data visualization, your role benchmarks, your role falls between your ability to be able to serve as a data analyst or a business intelligence person. So honestly speaking, it goes between 80 and 120, 130, depending on the organization. Now, you can start from somewhere and find your way to becoming a machine learning engineer, machine learning scientist, and so on and so forth. Enterprise architect, but yeah, so far so good. The highest we've seen is about 150K. Right now, that the job market there is inflation everywhere. Some organizations are putting 1 or 2 cents or 2 naira into it, and the numbers are jumping up. But not to kind of make you expect a lot than you can imagine. Just take these numbers as the average. No, in the UK, an average data analyst would earn, let's say junior data analyst would earn between £32,000 and let's say 50,000 for a permanent role. I don't know how to explain this, but there's something we call a permanent role in the UK, which is between 30,000 and 50,000. Just take it that way. In the UK, we also have what they call a contract role, meaning that you earn about £300 to £500 a day. And that's just it. So it depends on the organization. I've done 350, I've done 600, depending on where you find yourself. And in Canada, Australia, and so on, you have about, for their own permanent role, is between 70 and 150,000, just like I told you. And their contract rate they do per hour, it goes from $50 to $150 per hour, depending on how good you are. So let's dive into the meat. 17. Data analysts, data engineer, data scientist. Those are the 3 main roles within the data space. Are you guys there, or you guys or am I talking to myself?
Kindly use the chat box, please.
Okay. If anybody cannot hear me, I can wear another some kind of headphone that will make my voice sound cooler.
Your voice is clear. We can hear you clearly.
Okay, that's fine. So, between the data world, we have three major roles. There could be other roles like data management and etc. Data scientist, data engineer, and a data analyst. The difference between them is not very wide. However, their role actually do cross each other. But the three main things you need is for your ability to communicate, your ability to write a bit of code, and a bit of simple math. To be honest, most of the math you will do is basic algebra, addition, subtractions, most of the time. Division, finding minimum, and finding maximum. Yeah, it's simple math. Now, if you are working as a data engineer, you will do more of software engineering. If you're doing data scientist, some organization will require that you know a bit of software engineering also. But as a data analyst, most of the time it's more about communication and a bit of simple math. And the reason why is that a data analyst is the one that faces the business. You are the one that faces the business. You are the business facing aspect. You are like a bridge between the business and the technical guy. A data scientist is the one that does all kinds of predictions to say, okay, based on the data we have, I predict this is going to happen. Okay, maybe we should run this one and we can. So you guys have heard about ChatGPT. ChatGPT was actually ChatGPT was actually made by data scientists. Their own job is to come up with new way of doing things. Whereas the data engineer will now say, okay, you created this new stuff. Let's build a large scale version of it, which is like, you know, in chemistry, you do laboratory preparation of H2SO4, industrial preparation of H2SO4. Do you guys remember all this stuff? I still remember this one anyways. But yeah, data scientists will do it in small scale. A data engineer will make the larger scale version of it. The funny thing is that you can be a data analyst and you have the skills that covers each of these roles and vice versa. So it doesn't really matter. But it doesn't mean you cannot stay in your own area and be a good person. So, an average data person spends about 70 to 80% of their time cleaning data. So, I recommend that you spend enough time learning how to clean data because that's where you spend most of your time. Data visualization itself takes less time, or even if you are building models or whatever, it takes less time. But cleaning your data to be good enough for what you need to do is actually the hard part of this job. So, a data analyst, your job is to provide insight to business. You have to develop analysis or analytical whatever to show to them to say, see, this is the source of truth. This is what is going on with this business. If you continue like this for the next 6 months, we are going to go back all those kind of stuff and show them the charts, show them the numbers. A scientist predicts, build whatever. I just told you all those ones, so I don't have to waste time on this. About two. If you look at it very well, there's a lot of Excel options around here. Maybe you've not seen it, but I will show you. See, everything on this slide up until here, everything from your left up until here, where I'm having my cursor, is actually mainly a data engineering problem. And everybody will do cleansing, everybody will do filtering, everybody will do joining, everybody will do all kinds of stuff. Everybody will do it. But it's more data engineer, but I'm not spending time on that. They deal with large scale data, and that's what they do. Machine learning and all the building classification, regression model, and etc. is more of a data scientist's job. See, your job as a data analyst, you are more in the visualization phase. Whatsoever they've used, you turn it into an output that the business can understand. And that's why you need to use Excel, Power BI, Tableau, Click, and all those visualization tools. So in my own case, what we focus on is this little bit. And trust me, everybody will respect you for whatsoever you know how to do, meaning that you need to learn it and you need to be very good at it. So when you are good at it, you are an authority in your own space. It doesn't mean that you cannot work with them. They will listen to you and you have to listen to them. Do you understand? So basically that's it. So let's move on. So you don't need to know all the tools. You just need to know the one that's relevant for your role, and that is it. You don't have to stress yourself. If you try to know all those or everything you're saying there, you are just going to you get very tired, and that's it. So here is a data analyst role by in Manchester. They want you to be working hybrid. That hybrid means you have to stay in the office for a couple of days and you have to come work from home for a couple of days. They are willing to pay you £500 a day for this role. And the three major tools they need you to know for this role, according to this job description, is SQL, Excel. You need to be able to communicate and you need to understand what data governance is. Same thing with an NHS trust. Can you? Sorry.
Everything on your chair.
Cabin, hold on. Am I no? Oh man. This is really hard.
Oh.
Where back? Bye. Out. So here's an NHS trust role where they are willing to pay you between 51 and 57,000 pounds as a data analyst. And if you check the job description, the rest of it is managing people, dealing with people, and etc. But the common part of it is SQL, Power BI, Excel. Here's another one, London insurance market. And if you look at it, it's SQL, Excel, communication. There are so many other roles that you are able to get into. Your background and whatsoever field you're coming from is what is going to be useful here. And you can see this one too. It's also 575, 600 a day. Honestly speaking, it depends on the market. Now, if you look at so many data analysis tools today, I don't know if anybody knows about the story of Zoom during pandemic. Is anybody aware of what happened to Zoom and Teams? You can unmute your mic and let me know if you know, or raise or send this a thumbs up something if you know. Okay, if you don't know, what happened was that in the very early days of the pandemic, Zoom became a tool of choice. Everybody liked Zoom. Everybody started using Zoom because we all started working from home. But guess what happened? Microsoft just decided to roll out Teams as part of Microsoft 365, such that if you have Microsoft Word on your computer, you have Microsoft Teams. And people already paid for Zoom. So when they realized that there is a free version or a better version of Zoom that they can use within Microsoft, they all just dumped Zoom. And that's the reason why Microsoft is leading. So Microsoft is actually the leader when it comes to data visualization, because they made their tool as a package for most organizations. So the majority of the organizations today uses Microsoft. They keep most of their data in Excel. So therefore, it is easy for us to have a Microsoft tool to analyze them. And that's why Microsoft is a very important tool. So we are going to be dealing with Microsoft tools throughout the whole of this lecture or this training. Now, what happens as a data analyst or a data visualization expert? Your job is strictly going to take data from whatsoever source it is, either SQL, MailChimp, CRM, local Excel database, Access database, internet, Salesforce, put it into Power BI and create something like this for the business. And that's exactly what you're going to do. And that's the job of Microsoft. And most of this stuff you're seeing here, Internet Explorer, whatever, they all run strictly as a Microsoft. Okay, so what do you expect in this course? I've done about 20 minutes. You will learn Excel, Power Query, Power BI, SQL, best practices, stakeholder management, CV, and job hacking. The only way to succeed is for you to practice. If you listen to me from today till tomorrow, my brother and my sister, you're just wasting your time. The most important way, the only way you can learn this stuff is for you to get your hands dirty and practice. So how to succeed? Just said it here again. You must learn how to Google. You must learn how to watch YouTube videos. And you must learn to apply for a job every day as you go. That's the only way. If you wait for me to come and teach you, you probably won't learn anything. Things I will teach you today is knowing what to Google, knowing how to Google. And when you Google those stuff, then the rest of it will be how to, implement what you've learned. But in Excel, you learn about data entry. You learn about functions, if statements, trim functions, count, minimum, maximum, average, VLOOKUP, XLOOKUP, pivot table, charts, and introduction to Power Query. Now, life cycle of data analysis or of a data analysis project is very simple. Before anybody will come to you and say, can you do a data whatever for us? They will always come with a problem. A very good example of the problem I dealt with a couple of years ago or during the pandemic was when I was working with the Department of Health. They came to me and they were like, we need to be able to deploy test centers across the UK. And we have data of positivity, data of positive cases coming in every day. So what I did was I built a dashboard that tells them that when the number of cases in specific area is increasing, that means they need to deploy more test resources into that area. And when it is decreasing, they need to redeploy all the resources from that area to another area. So when they will come to you with a problem. They will come with you with the business problem. They will not tell you we need you to plot X and no. They will come with you with a real life problem. We are having a lot of customers visiting our website, but only few of them are buying stuff. Can you tell us what is going on? You may have to go and download the number of the customer data that is visiting the website. And then you realize that when all of them get to the shopping page, that's when they all exit. Why? You may have to come out. So you need to understand the issue. You need to understand the problem. You need to interview them and ask them, who is this data for? Why do they need it? How do you want to, how do you want to use it? And you ask them all kinds of questions. The moment you understand the problem, then you need to start asking them, where is the data sitting? You can look at the data and see, okay, they have 5 columns, they have 4 columns, they have 3 columns, one is the sales data. Just understand, you don't even need to analyze anything yet. Now, the moment you are done understanding what the data looks like, then you can now start cleaning things up, removing all the potential errors that you find in the data set. And when you're done doing the whole cleansing, then you can now start building models and start doing visualization. And that's basically life cycle. This thing must be part of your brain. Please remember it all the time that the initial process is not just the data and visualization. It is more of the communication part, interrogating people and asking them to understand the problem. See, if you don't understand the problem, you will never be able to solve it. And what will make you a successful data analyst is you understanding the problem. So I've said all this already. Understanding business scope, problem and the limit. How are we doing it? Where are we doing it? Why are we doing it? Who needs it? When do you expect your output? What is, who is it for? How do you want me to present it? Who are my stakeholders? Because sometimes some stakeholders are just interested in, are we making loss or are we in profit? So you don't want to go ahead and give them one complicated chart. They just want to see numbers. So as the data, asking the data questions, you need to ask them, what type of data is it? Where is it sitting? Does it contain errors? You need to know that. Is this all the data we need? There are some missing data. How do we find it? You need to ask questions. And how you will ask those questions will come to you as we learn most of the stuff. My phone, sorry about that. So, in some cases, you find yourself in a situation whereby you're also involved in the whole data collection design process, where companies will need to. So, okay, very good one. Today, at work, they came to me and they said, we have a lot of data about the number of Black people and white people that applied for job. And we realized that a lot of people get into the job, Black people, but after a while, they all just leave. We know that they are leaving, but we do not understand why they are leaving. So we've used data to show that, okay, maybe 20 Black people get into this job and within 2 years, they all leave. What's going on? We know why. We know what is going on, but we don't know why. For us to know why, we need to be able to design a set of questionnaire and send it out to them. Are you satisfied? Are you not satisfied? Is there a problem here? Whatever. Please give me 20 seconds. Let's take that break. I'm back. So you need to be able to help them design questionnaires, and that's where data entry may come into place. Sometimes data may be missing and there's no way for them to be able to automatically fetch those data, and you may have to do it manually. Your job can also go into that area. So How will you deal with those things? And that takes us to the first exercise. The first exercise is called VLOOKUP, XLOOKUP. Pope, can you please send me that exercise? Send that exercise around to everyone.
All right.
We got to move in, we come and send the. I'm going to send the example. Do I have it? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sending it to the WhatsApp group now.
Okay, I think I have to play one practice part here. But I don't question that bad deal. I think I have to go and download the raw file too because of the. Because the one I have before is kind of fully. It's fully filled.
I've sent it to the WhatsApp group now.
Is that the one?
Yes.
File with one practice. Let me see. Not this one. But we can also use this. We can use this. Let's just continue using this. Let's use this. Is everybody having that file? Have you been able to open it on your computer? Hello? Am I talking to myself or am I talking to people out here?
We can hear you. We can hear you.
Yeah, opened now. I've been able to open it.
Okay, great. So if one person is able to open it, I would expect that almost every other person is able to open it. So what we are going to do here is very simple. You can see these two tables here. One is having the name of people, their age, and their scores. The other one is having people's name, the age, and their favorite food. I'm still talking about the one on my slide. If we need to know Billy's age, in a situation whereby the data is just 4 or 5 like this, you can just copy and just enter the data here. Boom. Abi? But in a situation whereby you are dealing with 500, 1 million data rows, you don't have time to be looking for them one after the other. You will spend your whole year trying to do that. And that's why you need to be able to learn how to fill in missing data. So I will show you 2 methods that we can use to fill in people's to fill in missing data here. Can you all see my screens? Ellie, unmute my mic because people will have problems and I need you to confirm to me that you are following what I'm doing. So unmute your mic.
Okay.
If you are sitting next to each other, you'll be having a boy.
Okay.
Okay. So share your screen.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir.
There are 2 methods. So right here we have employee's ID, the last name and the first name. in this case, if you're a data analyst and they tell you we need to know which employer is getting most money, we need to know whatever, but you only have employee ID, you don't know their name. How will you fill it in? You don't want to be tracking one after the other. So the best way to do is for you to write a formula to populate this first name and last name. And I will show you two methods. First method is called VLOOKUP. This one. VLOOKUP. And the second method is XLOOKUP. Because some people may struggle. And I will show you XLOOKUP. And I want you not just watch me. The moment I'm at party, I want you to practice it. 10 but now. I will look for this employee's ID on this table here. And I want to write the code that will give me the first name here. Right? How I will do it is write is equal to, then I'll say VLOOKUP, bracket open. The moment I wrote VLOOKUP, Excel is giving me an option. It said, what value do you want to look up? I'll say, help me look up this value here that is in the employee ID. It's not going to ask me where. But before I will do the where, I have to put a comma before it. I will say, look at this entire table. So I will select all this table like this. Now, I'll put another comma. And it's going to ask me what is the index column, the column index number that you want us to return. Then I'll say, since the first name is on column number 2 of this table, that means the number is going to be 2. Then I'll say, comma. Then it's going to ask me, is it approximate match that you want or a close match? I'm saying, oh, I want an exact match. I'll say false, and I'll close it. That's all the formula you need, though, and I'll press enter. So this employer here, with the number 990678, their first name is Pete. And if I look here, guys, what did I do? I have done a great mistake here. Because I was looking at column number what? Did you guys notice my mistake? You know, Pete is not, Eba Misoro, Pete is not in the first name. Pete is a last name. So I have entered the wrong column number. It will be, you know, there are 3 columns here. And first name is in what? In column 3, Abi. Esoro.
Whose laptop are they using so I can unmute the person? The feedback was getting much. I had to mute everyone. So please type the name in the chat so I will know who I can unmute is mic since since you're all in the same place.
Everybody is on the same place.
So whose laptop are you using? Can you please type in the chat so I can unmute the person? You can all use that mic. The feedback is affecting the whole thing.
Every other person should mute their mic. One person should unmute so that we can hear from you guys. If you guys feel like, no, you don't need to talk to me when we are doing this thing, I can just move fast everything. But only when you then you like me.
Okay, I've unmuted everybody again since nobody is talking.
Okay. Mountain types, phones, can you? We are all using phone. So
Actually, I'm using laptop here. And
okay.
Yeah.
I'm using laptop.
Okay. Are you all in the same place?
Oh, no.
So those who are using laptop, you can unmute yourself. Those who are sitting in the same place, please mute everybody and leave one person's this thing on. Does that make sense?
Okay,
so,
sir.
Noah said they are all using phone. Which phone are you using? Okay, they said one iPhone. So unmute that one iPhone and mute every other phone. If not, the feedback will come and everybody will have to be muted. Okay, so let's move on. So the problem here, did anybody understand the problem that happened here?
No, sir.
Yes.
Okay, what problem happened here? Oh, yo. I need it to be as interactive as possible.
Pete is under last name, not first name.
The problem
We are looking at the wrong column.
We are looking at the wrong column because I said 2 instead of what? Because first name is on the 3rd column. So if I do enter now,
Okay.
give me bad. And if you look at this number, 990678 is for first name Brad. So when you find all kind of formula like this, instead of you trying to retype for every one of them, see this tick part of this area that I selected.
Yes.
Just double click like this, and it will fill everything in for you.
Okay.
Ignore the NA for now. We'll do that one later. So this
Okay.
is my formula, and I want you to try it on your own too. So how do you do it? I'll try it again. If you guys don't get it, we look up type as a type equals to v. Yeah, equals must come first.
Okay.
Equals to v lookup bracket open, and you select the employee ID that you want to use to look up, which is selecting the employee ID in the first employee ID here. That's going to give me F4. Then I'll put the comma there. After the comma, I will select the entire table because I want it to look into that entire table for me. You click on it and you drag on the table. And you do comma. And when you are done with the comma, this time around, the last name is on column. Column Guinea.
Column 2.
Aha. So put 2 there. That is the index column number that we are looking for. And I'll tell it, give me an exact match. 4. Bracket close. That's my formula. Before I press enter, I want everybody to have been able to do that.
Pause. The problem is that
Are we all there?
we are with you, sir.
All right, so press enter. And this time around, I have it, the last name. Double click on the edge like this. It goes all the way down. And that is a look up for you. Is everybody getting the same result? So let's assume that after all this training that I'm doing, you are still struggling, or maybe my explanation is too complicated.
No, it's not too complicated, sir.
Okay. Well, we learn differently and we learn at different pace. So the best thing for you to do let's assume you don't understand what I'm saying. Tonight, just go home and do this to Google. How to do the lookup. Can you see?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir.
Can you all see
Yes.
Yes, sir.
how to do VLOOKUP in Excel? If you want to read documentation, read documentation. If you don't want to read documentation, go on YouTube. We don't lie to you. Every developer, every data analyst, every data scientist, every data engineer, everybody Googles stuff. Is that okay?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
Everybody Google stuff. So don't be afraid to do what?
Google it.
Thank you. Just do VLOOKUP in Excel. And you will see 3 minutes, 5 minutes video on how to do VLOOKUP. This is a very popular woman. She does a lot of great Excel videos. She did Excel video, 2 practical ones, 12 minutes. Just go there, follow her step by step, and you will figure it out. VLOOKUP is a very important thing that everybody needs to know. I will not lie to you. I did a test for a job yesterday. Kule is my witness here. And they gave me a VLOOKUP exam to do. Does that make sense? So
Yes, sir.
it does not, they don't care about, see, at the end of this training, you are not getting any certificate. Nobody cares about your certificate in this field. When you want to get a job, they will put you in front of the computer and they will give you a very small, short period of time. Can you help us find this missing data? If you get there and you are struggling, that means you don't know what you are doing. They'll just fire you straight. Does that make sense? So you need to practice on your own before it gets to the job space. So this is how to do it. Come here, Google stuff, and you will be fine. Google it, learn it. If I'm fast, don't worry. If you don't like this video or my explanation is too harsh or too whatever, watch about 5-10 VLOOKUP video on YouTube. You will learn it very fast and you will know it better than me. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
VLOOKUP is now not working. You guys notice that there are some errors here with VLOOKUP, right?
Yes, sir.
That's VLOOKUP for you. It can be complicated. We have to start shooting. Why is this one? And you have time for that nonsense. A better option is XLOOKUP. And that's the way you type VLOOKUP is the way you are going to type XLOOKUP. Just do equals to XLOOKUP, bracket open. The suggestion came already and it says, what value do you want to look at? You select the value of the employee ID that you want to look at. And you do comma, right? Now, in this case, instead of selecting the whole table, you don't have to select the whole table anymore. You just need to select the actual column that matches what you are looking. So you wanted to look up the employee ID in the employee ID section, right? And you want it to return the first name for you in the first name section. You select it and you do bracket close and you enter. That's it. Sorry, I selected last name, Abby. That was my bad. So in this case, we want it to be first name. So you select, you have to, come on here. In this case, we want to select the first name. And you press enter. Does that make sense? Or should I do it again?
Do it again, sir.
All right, okay. So you do equals to X lookup, bracket open, the lookup value, which is the employee ID, comma, the column where we wanted to look up the employee ID. If this column, if the number you have in the employee ID does not exist here, it will give you an error. So you are looking up the employee ID in the employee ID section. And I want it to return the last name for me, which is here. And you just close the bracket. I hope that makes sense.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
This one is pretty much straightforward than the previous one. Abby, and you press enter.
Yes, sir.
No.
When you press enter, you can always drag it down. And you get everything you need. Is that okay? So without further ado, we move on. We move away from here. We look up for you and X lookup. I hope if you don't know how to do it, Google it, watch YouTube. Data cleansing, in many cases, when you are dealing with data, you will have to do a lot of data fixing, where you have to remove spaces, you have to remove errors, you have to remove blanks, you have to remove NA, you have to remove duplicates, you have to do all kinds of stuff. And you know, the best assignment, if you need to learn how to remove spaces in Excel and you have to put it into Google, can somebody tell me what they are going to type into Google? Answer. Hello. You have to remove spaces on a set of data sets, on a data set, and you want to check on Google how to do it. What will you do? What will you type?
How to format data.
No, that's not the problem. Think about it. You want to remove spaces.
Maybe just the normal word. How to
I want you to say it. What you would type into Google.
How to remove spaces in data on Excel.
God bless you. That's all you need to type. See, if you don't ask the right question, you will be getting vague answers. Yes. Your ability to ask Google the right question determines your ability to be successful in this space. You don't use vague words. You say the problem exactly the way it is. How to remove error. How to remove NA. For example, if I want to say, on the spreadsheet I showed you the other time, right? Yes, remember, I showed you, remember we had some kind of NA, Abby, on the VLOOKUP session. Do you guys remember?
Yes,
if I want to do that, I would just say VLOOKUP NA error. Do you notice that now?
Yes, sir.
Right? You see this one. You see videos on how to remove VLOOKUP NA error. You are not the only person. You are not the only person with this problem. Just learn to Google that problem. Does that make sense? The most common Excel errors, how to fix them. By the time you watch this 5-10 minute video, boom, you are done. And if you know it, when you see the problem again, you are able to come back. Read. So for example, I will try and do some very easy stuff for you guys here and just show you. Let's assume that I want to, let me add this to the list for you. Okay, I'll just move to the side. So let's assume that I want to combine these names together. So somebody said they want me to create full name. Right?
Yes, sir.
I'll be very fast this time around, and if you don't get it, you have to go and watch it online. I want to create full name. Full name means I'm trying to join the first name and the last name together, which is Brad Pitt, right? You can go ahead and say how to join two text or how to join two columns together in Excel. You can Google it. If you cannot, there is a function called concatenate. And the moment it says concatenate, what is it? Says text 1, text 2, right? I don't have to type it. I just have to select the cell and do this one, right? And put bracket closed. And that's it. But this is not what I want. Is it?
Yes, sir.
No. Is this first name, last name? Is this the right format
No,
for
sir.
it?
No, this
Eh?
That's the first name, last name, but there is no space in between.
God bless you. If I have to fix that error, I have to just come here and retype my formula. So I will do x1, comma, and I want to put space in between. You just put this in between like this. And you can even decide to put this one. You can just put a space in between. When you're typing text in Excel, you need to put it in between. You need to put it between two. You need to put it under 2 quotation marks. Does that make sense? And you press enter.
yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
This is what we are looking for. Exactly. This is what we are looking for. This is what the standard first name, last name will look like, right? So when I'm done with that, you just need to type it one time and it will replicate itself all through. Do you understand that? Now,
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I don't want to take away these names. I really want to. I don't like that space. And I want to take away the space. You can press Ctrl H. Ctrl H means find and replace. I'll just put a space bar here. I can do replace all. Did you notice what happened now?
Yes, sir.
It replaces all the spaces for me. Right?
Yes.
So,
Hello, sir.
Ah.
Please, I didn't get what you said.
Okay.
Could you please
I tried-
reiterate on it?
You said?
I didn't get to explain right now. Could you please reiterate on it?
Oh, so what I did was I joined it. Did you get it up to the point where I joined the names together?
Yes, please.
Okay, so now I want to remove spaces, the space that is in between them. So I can decide to do Ctrl H. Control, load the computer me. LA, CTRL plus H. Can get me.
Yes, sir.
So I can decide I want to replace the space. So I can decide I want to remove the space and put and in there, right? I will just replace all the, and now all my space is now what? And that's the way it works. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So I can decide to do that. Another thing I may want to do here is I want to split it back into this first name, last name. I can decide to go into what they call data validation. You go to data and you come to data validation, or you go to text to come, sorry. Inside this text to come, there are 2 ways to break this thing apart. What I'm trying to do here is that I want to break this thing into first name, last name, because data can come in different format for you. Okay, it's not a good example. Let me take this off. So let's assume I'm copying this one, because when I'm trying to split it, it's giving me formulas. Oh, no way. Control Z. Control Z. I want to paste it as text. You notice this one now?
Yes, sir.
I want to break this thing into 2. I'll select this one and I'll come to the column. I'll say, hey, what's going on here? So I'll come here and I'll say next. And I'll say everywhere you find order, and I'll say anywhere you find a hand, let me split them into 2. Does that make sense?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
And I'll do finish. Did you notice what happened here? Ẹni nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni, sir.
Ó máa pín sí méjì fún yín, tẹ́ bá lo text to column. There is no time for us to waste time on this. These are things you may have to do when cleansing data. You may have to split data. You may have to join them together. You may have to separate them. You may have to do all kinds of stuff, right? For example, I may need to select just the first character of the first name, right? And I have to use the function called left. And if I have to select the last 3 characters, I have to use the function called right. To use left, all you need to do is Google how to use left. You can just Google how to extract the first 3 characters of a text in Excel. That's how to put your query into it. And me, because I've done that before, I'll just use left, bracket open, select this one, and do comma 3. Close, enter. And it will give me bra. And if I get this down, it gives me the first 3 characters of everything. Same thing with what's it called? Last character. If I do right, and it's giving me rad. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So the bottom line of it is that when you're doing data cleansing, focus more on learning how to throw the right query into Google, and you'll be able to figure it out. Am I speaking to somebody?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Trim functions, you may have to remove duplicates. I'm not spending a lot of time on that. We need to move. So we've done that. Remember, I brought you back to this place. You need to know what the data is for. You need to understand the problem, know what the data is for, why they need it, who is using it, where the data sitting, understanding what kind of data it is. If you've been practicing data cleansing very well, when you see a data set and you realize there are errors in there, you will be able to see it obviously, because NA is not a valid data. Null is not a valid data. Name question is not a valid data. And you are used to all those kind of errors. Watch Excel videos and you will know it. So that's it. So data formatting. See here. See this one. You see this one that I'm putting here. If I put number only, you are given a data set and they said this is the pay. How will you know if it is dollar or pounds or whatever? You don't know, right?
Yes, sir.
It has to be in the right currency. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
I put today's date into this column now. Right?
Yes, sir.
See what's going to happen to this date. If I change the format, general, did you notice that one?
Yes,
and
sir.
they write stuff for you like this and say, if you see this at work, you'll be confused, Abby.
Yes, sir.
The first thing you need to check is that it's data in the right for. Select it, look here, they said date. Okay, just put it back to date. Boom. Does that make sense? You may have a situation whereby this one can be in text format. It will say text like this. And if you are running a calculation on it, it will not respond because it's in the wrong format. So those are things you have to do. Sorry, 1 minute. Adebayo, where are you going? Why are you going? What? No. So that is it with this one. Let's move on. Now, how many people are familiar with logic and manipulations? Okay. So when somebody says and or, those are two different things. And I'll make a very simple statement. Because when you are typing in Excel, you are typing as if you are typing in English. If I say Anybody that read the book of Genesis and Exodus is a Christian. To that statement, Genesis and Exodus is a Christian. Because there is a conjunction in the middle that is called and. That statement, for it to be true, the condition alakoko and condition LKG must be what? Must be true. Am I making sense?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
For you to be a Christian, according to the statement I made, you must have read Genesis and what? And Exodus. If you did not read it, if you just read Genesis and you didn't, if you read Genesis and you did not read Exodus, according to that logic, you are not a what? You're definitely a single. So, that be but I answer works and grace near be. You must accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, and you must be baptized in the Holy Spirit, which is the evidence of speaking in tongue. You know that's where people got it wrong. God bless you. That's where people got it wrong, because they've added hand function, and you must do good works, and that means if you just accept Jesus Christ and you understand what I mean, and you by accident slip into sin or whatever, that means you lost your salvation. Sure. And is a combining statement where the two conditions must be true. If the two conditions are not true, then that result is going to return a false. But if I come today and I say, if you come to church on Friday, but can Pastor Timothy Delaney Bible Annie, if you come to church on Sunday or you come to church on Wednesday, you will be eligible to collect this Bible. That means you don't have to come to church both days. You just have to be in church in one of the 2 days for you to be eligible for the what? Right.
Me, my people should buy.
What are you doing?
Washing my hands and my feet.
Okay. The kitchen? Is it part of it? All right. I'm back. Can you all hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, and statement, or statement, you will need to deal with it very well when you're writing logic. So, If you are writing conditions, please have it at the back of your mind that when you're using and, it means that condition 1 and condition 2 must be what? Must be true. And if you are writing what they call if statement, you will need it very well. I just want to put it out there so that when you encounter it, you will not be shocked. So do some basic. Do we have the second sheet? Can you send that out too? There. If Pope is not there, let me show you some quick manipulations here. So let's assume that I want to add all this column together. All I need to do is just type equals to sum, bracket open, select everything from the top here and drag it down and close it. And that's the sum, everything in this column. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
If I want to find the average, all I need to do is just do the same thing and type average.
Yes, sir.
Bracket open, select the first one, drag it to the down, whatever. And if anybody is missing this and they are kind of confused on what to do, if you don't get it, just go on Google and whatever you missed. If you don't get me, just Google it. How to do average in what?
In
Excel. How to do
Excel.
average. How to add two numbers. So it's very simple. See, if I have 2 here, and I have 2 here, and here, and I say equals to this one plus this one is equal to 4. Imagine the same thing. So change the sign divide. Imagine
Yes, sir.
the same thing. So change the sign minus. It's very simple. And done subtractions, I've done additions. Now let me do the minimum and maximum for you. Now, can somebody look it up for me online and tell me how I can take the minimum of this value? I want to check the minimum of this value, of this number here. Can somebody check it for me online and tell me what I'm supposed to type?
Equals to minimum.
God bless you. Equals to minimum. Then
the column of what we are doing.
okay, so I will have to open my bracket. If it is
Yes,
2 numbers,
bracket.
3 numbers, I'll just have to select everything.
Yeah.
And then same thing with maximum. You just need to do max. That is very simple. Basic math. Boom. But you're in here, I will tell you the math. I don't have to tell you what the maximum means. I believe basic mathematics in school, right? So if you don't know minimum, please go and read up on it online. Please, 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 please. There's no time. This class is very condensed, so we have to, use our time very well. Now, if statements can be very tricky. I'll come down to this one for you. Imagine somebody coming around to give me an instruction to say, if somebody comes around to give me an instruction, say, I'll put that instruction here. If it is less than 100,000. There you go.
Yes, sir.
Give it green. There you go. Funny, if between 100,000 and 120,000, give it yellow. Money, if over 120,000, write red, Abby. That is what I want to do here. How will I write it? Eh? Okay. I need to write what they call if statement. So a simple one will be if bracket open, whatever is in this column, is in this cell, is less than 100,000. Text in Excel, you have to put it in between what? You have to quote in it. Give it what? Green. Abi? If not, if it is less than 100,000, give it green. If not,
Give it red.
give it red. Or say it's greater than 100,000. Let's even start.
Okay, yeah.
For everyone that is greater than 100K, it says it's greater than 100K. And that's how to write if statement. If you write equals to if something, the moment you put that formula there, what's the logical test? Logical test is if P5 is greater than 100,000, if it's less than 100,000. Oh, what should I do if it is true? I said, write green. If the condition is false, put this one there. And that's just a simple condition. Now, let us look at what is going to happen in a scenario where we have multiple conditions. And that multiple condition only Moshesi Ola Nini Bibayi. Get me?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I can now decide to do what they call nested if. It's called, see, you may want to Google this one, nested if. You are nesting it into the other, the nested here. I want to write two conditions. Right? I can say if people is less than 100,000, give me green. I can now say the second condition, right? If bracket open, P4 is greater than 100K, give me amber, comma. I made mistake because my amber, because I have the mistake. Okay, give me amber. Oh. And where I've made mistake is that my amber is not in what? In quotation. So what it's going to do here is that if P4 is less than If P4 is less than 100,000, give me green. If P4 is greater than 100,000, give me amber. If not, if all these conditions that I've given you, or let me even do it this way, make it our lives very easy. So I would say if P4 is less than 100,000, give me green. If P4 is close to 100,000, give me amber. If not, if these two conditions are not what? Are not true, give me what? Greater than 100K.
Greater than 100K.
When I do that, it is too many arguments. Because I've done if, I've done. Okay, I think this analogy may not work properly. Let me Google. I'm trying to validate something for you guys, but I will use what I'm supposed to use. Now I want to use a hand function. Make my life easy. Because that condition I placed in the middle is not true, because what I have here is that I have a two condition here. If it is between 100K and 120K, that is to say, if I would write it in mathematical terms, I'll write it as what's it called? Let's say greater than 100K, Abi, and less than what? And less than Kenny?
Less than 100K.
No. The second condition here, the one that will give me yellow, will be greater than 100K.
And less than 120K.
Less than 120K. So there must be a hand function, Abi, in the middle, Abi.
Yes.
Abi? So this is how to write hand function in a nested scenario here. What I will do here is I'll just write another if function here. I'll say if, cancel, go away. And I'll put and. And means everything that falls into the bracket of and must be what? Must be true for that situation to happen, right? So if I say, if this column, now say is greater than what? Or equal to 100K. Then I'll put comma. And I'll also say, and if P4 is less than 120, and I'll say, give me amber. Is anybody understanding this? About Daru?
The federal robot have it all.
Okay. So, assignment. Go and watch, go and Google. So I've made some bracket. So, green, that's the way it's going to work. But you guys should go and look up. You know, I told you to go and watch, read up on nested if, Abi. Next thing is go and do if and. That's the call, because you will need it. Hello?
Hello, sir.
Does that make sense? But let me show you what I did again. What I did was I used what they call a AND function. Say if P4 is greater than, so is less than 100,000, give me green, Abi.
Yes.
Put another if function inside the previous if. But for me to be able to use that if function, I decided to add a hand logic inside. Does that make sense?
That hand logic, is it the same if again? Or what's the difference
said?
between? Is it the same, the first if statement, is it the same thing with the hand logic, or what do you call it?
No. So and logic. So if I say this is how to write and.
Okay.
When you put and here, you are saying condition 1, condition 2, right?
Yes.
Do you understand what I mean?
Okay. Condition 1, comma, condition
2.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
If it's a or function, it will be or bracket open condition 1, comma, condition 2. Add and or an example.
Yes.
So if you have an and condition, that is what I've done here. I just added a hand function here to say, and give me the first condition. If it is greater than 100,000, and if it is less than what? 120.
120.
Give me amber. Otherwise, every other thing you see there, just tell it is greater than what?
Greater than 100K, yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, this one makes sense. Yeah.
If anybody is struggling, go and watch YouTube video on how to do nested if or how to do if and in Excel. Get the topic here, but I like it. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
All right. Let's move on to the next one. Data validation, cell formatting, conditional formatting. Let me even see how many more pages we have. I want to see. Kune? Is Kule there? What's that me down? What's the
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Do we have the whole of how many minutes do we have?
More. Supposed to be 1 hour 30 minutes, but if they are okay, we are okay.
Are you guys okay? Because I want to quickly rush you guys through some things. Because I have stuff to teach you: data validation, self-formatting, self-formatting, conditional formatting. These topics, honestly, you can go and watch them on YouTube by yourself. So one thing I can do is make this list of topics that you have to go and watch on YouTube. I can make it available for you. And you just watch it, just make sure you know it before next week. And that will be your main assignment. So the next one will be pivot table. I can quickly do pivot table. Then after pivot table, then I do Power Query demo, and the rest of it will be me talking and we are done. Or then I can tell you about some best practices. And if we continue with this one, if people are not putting it up on time, we may be there for the next 30 minutes, 1 hour. So which one do you guys want? Should I continue, or should I just tell you what you should go and read up?
Both in, sir. I think it would be more preferable if you put us through, then we can recap the others while watching the video.
Okay. So validation is very simple. Now, mute your mic. Mute your mic.
Yeah?
Mute your mic.
Yeah, I'm already. I was muted.
All right, thank you. So, imagine that somebody came to you at work and they said, we want to see who is cleaning the, what's it called? Who is performing what duty on which day? So we have color A, Baba. Give me another random name. Olu. Bola. Let's say those are staff in that company. Abi? No. That's not even making sense. Let's think. Okay, yeah. We can use this. So I want us to assign duties to each and every one of them, like cleaning, sweeping, and etc. So I want them to be able to come here and be able to choose what's it called? Duties for each of these days. Again, I can decide to come here and do data validation. I'll say list. What duties do we want? We want somebody to be able to do cleaning. What other duty? Sweeping. And which other one? Let's say we just want to leave it as 2 like this. All you need to do is just do okay. You know what's going to happen to all of them? When you go down like this, you'll be able to choose between sweeping. You'll be able to do cleaning like this. All I did was I just selected the area like this that I want those things to be. Came into data validation. I selected data, to data validation, selected list here, and I typed all my options here. My options became what is in this cell for me to select. And get me and data validation, creating list. Now, let's now assume I want to give some kind of coloring to whatever actions is selected here. I can come into here, home, and do what we call conditional formatting. And I can just say highlight cells and place text content. So I can say if the text contains cleaning, give me green. And I'll say okay. I can come here again and do conditional formatting. Highlight text contains, and I say if it contains sweeping, right? I can give it another color here and say, give me red border. I'll do okay. So anyway, Timba one be by ye, Timba change the lacy, clean by anything. It's ring of those yellow. Timba be, must select sweeping. Ring of those yellow. That's conditional formatting. Conditional formatting is what you can use to paint stuff based on the value that is there. So that to change for any format the FBC. Does that look fair to anybody? What did I do?
Oh God.
And also the list of things you want to go and watch. Data validation, Excel. And call it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, but to call it, struggle next week, because the problem is, see, this thing I'm doing for you today, naturally, I'm supposed to take you in 2 classes. So,
yes, sir.
But I have to rush you through it because, but we have a very short.
Okay.
We have a very short.
But I can outline. Outline weekly because all these
videos are not more than 5 minutes, 10 minutes videos on YouTube for each of them.
Okay.
You are not going to spend 1 hour on any one of them. The video for VLOOKUP is 5 minutes on YouTube. The video for data validation, you even see 2-3 minutes. If you watch extra ones that will make you get better, then you can be spending 10 minutes for the ball. The maximum video you will see on most of those topics is 10 minutes. So, Ekole, data validation, conditional formatting in Excel. You need to know it. Struggle next week. So this class is strictly for people who are very, very serious. Meaning that they about to come billion, they about to daily SAP on Mabirian. Hello, Joko to YouTube, they practice it. That they make your plan, Mokodo Jigini, Kodo the next week. I was asking also, hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And it was they practice it. Struggle next week. I'm not let the top around you. You cannot, there is no easy way to eat. And it's a fair easy way to life. Check grace. I begin to that kind of person cannot work in this role. You must be willing to get your hands dirty. Does that make sense? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Time then no devin wo kotoaye abi movie one on go to YouTube. It takes 5-10 minutes to build your life. Down.
I'm going, sir.
One hire software developer that's in Nigeria. One hire data analyst that's in Nigeria. The one going on So you choose either TikTok or whatever time you are wasting, or a future for yourself. So input is equal to output. The amount of effort you put into it will determine the kind of output you are going to get. If you don't put enough effort into it, you will not get anything out of it. And let me shock you, in this world, in the West or in the world abroad world, nobody will ask you for your certificate at work. Ever since I left uni, nobody ever asked me for my certificates. Ask Kule, nobody will ask you. Can you do it? It's all about experience. Your first class, your PhD is useless. In this case, I'm not saying they are not, but they have their own advantage, because that's what people will look at you to say, okay, this person had a university degree. We are looking for somebody with university degree. But beyond that, what can you do beyond your degree? Get your hands dirty. If you are going to start investing in yourself tonight, start learning skills. Chengbo?
Yes, sir.
In IT, everybody Googles. And I want you to learn how to Google. See, the better you know how to Google now, the better analyst you will become. If you go at Koshelo, down. And I want you to be better than me. I really want you to be better than me. But if you are not willing to put the effort, please don't even bother. Don't disturb yourself. Just don't bother coming next week. Does that make sense? All these things I'm listing down for you, they are 5 minutes, 10 minutes video. Let's say worst case scenario, you are very slow. Then you are watching it and you are doing it one step at a time. You spend 20 to 30 minutes per video. And if you put effort to it this week, by next week, you will come back with confidence. Ojubando. Table. I'll show you, and I want you to go back and watch it. Bomi. Kule, are you there? About this Zalo? Are we going to get the list of the topics we treated out for these guys, or we send them a copy of the slide? Which one?
I just get the topics out.
Okay, that's fine. We'll give them a list of the topics. You guys go and watch it on YouTube. Make sure you know it before next weekend, because Kunle will take it to a different level next week. And most of these skills you are learning today, you will need it. So, let's say we want to create pivot table. How will you create pivot table? Let me even look. Let me shock you. See, this is the interview I did yesterday. Hello? Can you all hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I can hear you.
This is the interview I did yesterday, and that's the name of the company. Did you see what the role is? Data what?
Analyst.
We want you to make impact for whatever offer. This role, the interview was for a role in Ireland. They said they are going to pay me 400 euro per day for this job. See what they asked me to do, requirement, Excel user experience. You must know VLOOKUP, if any, statement, minimum creation, pivot table, macros, blah, 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 BS, etc. And that's it for that role. Worry, tell me that they put me in front of the computer. They did not ask me for my certificate. I did not show them my certificate. Nobody asked me for it. And they gave me 30 minutes to do it. And these are all the 7 questions. They just gave me these 2 data sets. And they told me, hey, can you see all these ones? Oh, okay, this was the one. Can you see this one that I was doing VLOOKUP, XLOOKUP, and I'm having all some errors, right? But you know, nobody gets time. You say, see, this is if statement. If C2 and Kinekan, you see?
Yeah.
This is for a 400 euro a day. I mean,
yes, sir.
This is, and see, when I did it, the funny side of it is that everything don't need to work perfectly. They come to me and say, okay, did it work? If it did not work, what did you do? How did you do it? Okay, what alternative would you have used, and etc. Do you understand what I mean? And those are part of the questions they asked me. This job, they've not seen my certificate, and it's for a top government role. But you know, so if you think it's a joke, then there's no easy way to it, or it cannot be harder than this. It is going to be hard. And it's not harder than this. It just requires you to put a bit of work. A bit of effort. Now, let's assume I'm going to recreate this table. Unfortunately, Pope, are you there?
Yes.
It's the file for the second thing now. Pivot table. They didn't show me send there. Would have been a better one.
All right. For the first class.
Yeah.
I sent to the WhatsApp group already.
No, you only send the one with VLOOKUP. It's just one VLOOKUP. There's another one that has the one. I called it the one.
Okay, on it.
While Pope is preparing whatever he needs to prepare, let me walk you through the rest of the slide so that we will get that one out of the way. So, I'll show you how to do pivot table, and I will show you how to do Power Query, and I'll keep it very simple. I will just use a very practical situation to show you. Now, see, when you are done building your charts, you need to know how to use the right colors. On the dashboard, you should know the number of charts you are supposed to put there. For example, if you are dealing with a senior stakeholder that owns the company, they don't care if you are using a bar chart or a pie chart or whatever. They don't care. They just want to know, are we making profit or are we making losses? But if they tell you, okay, the people that are coming to use the data, they are technical people, they understand charts, they understand this, then in those cases, you can now be putting some complicated charts there. But people like the CEO or the business, whatever, they just want to see the number. Are we in profit or loss? They just want to see profit, loss. When you are using color, make sure you use colors that are not very, very far away from each other, that are not too complicated. During COVID, I built a report that is going to the UK Parliament. And that report, they told me to put red, amber, green. Which part of the UK is having more COVID cases than the other? Do you know what happened? Me too. Stupidly, I did red, amber, green. But before the data goes out, somebody needs to review the data before we send it to the Parliament. And they came back and were like, Ogbeni, if we show people that everywhere in their neighborhood is red, it's going to lead to a major panic in the country. We cannot do that. So therefore, we decided to use light green deep green, and medium green. I hope that makes sense to anybody. Are you there? Etilo.
Wambi Bayi, me catch reason to have to change the series of green
Do you have
instead
a
of red.
slide or one of those stuff to show what we're talking? It's sounding more abstract.
So I think there was one report we built recently. Let me try and open it for you guys. If I can open it. Are you able to see the file already?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I sent it onto your WhatsApp now.
Yeah, we have seen those files on the WhatsApp pages.
Okay, day one. Okay, yeah. So I will open that here now. But let me also give you guys a glimpse of what the data looks the COVID report looks like. But this one I'm showing you is just a demo we did. And the man could you ever be no. This is what the report looks like. Ogbeni collapse jaw. Did you notice the kind of color I used here? Did you notice this map that is just dark green, light green, medium green? Hello? Yes, for Roa.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Did you notice that? See, imagine that I use red, yellow, and green. If you get dark green, it will be red. If you are the local government chairman of this place and you realize that this local government is full of red, what will you do when they show you this report? Maybe you will panic, Abby.
Yes, sir.
Everywhere in your neighborhood, people are having a lot of Abby.
Exactly.
So for you not to be able to cause wahala in town, you have to use something that will not cause problem. You need to understand the kind of people that are reading the data. So when we built it, we use dark green, medium green, and light green. So when people saw it, nobody panicked. But those who understand it understood that yes, there is a Wumbelo cocaine.
Exactly. Yeah, clearly, sir.
So your use of color needs to be important. You cannot use color that will go and blind people. Keep it as simple as possible. In my own case, maximum of 3 colors that is not far away from each other. And keep your report simple. See, I don't use more than 3 visualizations with 3 charts on a single dashboard like this. I hope that makes sense. So you just have to keep it simple, and you need to make sure you feel it's just what your audience really, really wants. You get me? And that's what you need to do with your listen. Your font. Don't use fonts that will make people start squeezing their face. Hey, down. You have to be very straightforward with it.
Yes, sir.
Stakeholder management. I said it before. You need to know who needs to read the data, who needs to use it, how will they use it, what do they want to achieve with it. If you know what they want to achieve with it, you can work along with them. If we want to scare everybody to say everybody stay at home, there is COVID everywhere, we just show them the red and everybody will do what? They will sit at home. They will not go out. But not to scare people, we have to tone it down. So you need to know what your stakeholder wants to do, want to achieve before you do it. So after today, or after you've done whatever you do, there are so many roles out there that they require Excel, strictly Excel. They don't even need any other thing. You can make a CV and put all the key Excel roles that you've learned tonight. Like when you're writing it, put power pivot, VLOOKUP, XLOOKUP, conditional formatting, put all those things in your CV. and you can start applying for job. You can share your CV in the group after the end of the class today, after you've updated it. But make sure you've learned everything we told you to go and learn before you send me a CV. And I'll look at it for you and I'll tell you, okay, this CV is okay, it's good to go. You can start using this to apply for jobs. Do you understand? So, I may send you an assignment if you want, and if I may choose not to send you an assignment, depending on how serious. If people show me that they are very serious, I'll send you an assignment. If people show that they are not very serious, I'll just ignore you guys and feel like, okay, that's just it. So the more you respond to this thing, the more we will take you more serious. And that's my own approach to things. So make a CV and reach out to me. So I will rush you through things. The reason why I'm rushing you through them is because I want you to be able to see how those things will work eventually. And in the long run, I want you to be able to go and do it by yourself.
Yes, sir.
As you look, it's just something similar to this. Motivated formatting. Cannot date formatting. The problem because on Yabi. And there is one here called logic. So, our calculations we can say total sum b sum bracket open, everything from here to here, right? Boom. And I'll be able to do something like this. Right. So I'm not going to fast. So let's say I want to do pivot table. Let me change this format to right. I can decide to select just this part of this. I just want to use these two, right? I want to do pivot table. I'll just go into insert pivot table and charts. And before you know it, it will give me this new option. Ask me if it is a new worksheet, and I'll open it. Data source reference is not valid. Why? I think somebody else got this kind of error the other day. On the pivot chart and table. Right. Data source reference is not valid. You know what I would do when I'm at work and I get this kind of error? Somebody suggest.
Go to Google.
Eh?
You go good.
God bless you. You don't know how to do it. You go struggle. See what I did not do. You did not save the pivot table on your local drive. That's the reason why. So the file, I have not saved it. All I have to do is save it. Come on now. Copy of the one. I'll just save it. Save. I think it is. Okay, save to read. Save to go to read only. Save as. Yeah. Make sure the specified folder exists in the lib I saying. I'm getting error. We have 4 minutes to go. You can send the video. Come along, we'll have to practice.
Ben, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Specific videos that you guys should go and watch. I think it's going to make your life easier than this. Once by rushing through it, you will struggle. Thank you, okay, so that one did not work. Portable did not work. She'll send you a video for Portable. Let me do one demo for you. So we want to do election 2023.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni sir. Yes sir.
Vote. FBC, PDP, XYZ,
Ọ̀gá LP ni. Fi Labour Party sí ni.
Not Benusa. LP. Oh, I assume this is Abuja. Go. And save a lady. But my allow me to save anything. Election. All right, this works. So, Kani, this is Abu Dhabi. To Akpele ni Lagos. Engbo. Moani, Akpele ni 5,000. Maybe that is the numbers, right? Ele de two kinan kurukwe. The Labour Party ka found one number here. Not like Labour. Like it, right? Down.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni sir.
So I want to create a table. I'll call it coalition center. So my show test results, from different angles. So you can imagine different coalition centers, all of them are entering their results one after the other. You get me? And we want to have a dashboard where everybody will be able to use it. So we'll use what we call Pack Query for it. I'll select this table, I'll go to data, I'll do from table ranges, my table as an header, I'll come in here and I'll say am I below after 805? I'm a party again. And everybody will be able to go home. Because more aware for church lane, you're like church like Wabi. Abi? This is Abuja. This is Abuja that I've listed here. So when I say this is Abuja, I'm not doing anything to this party, I'll just leave it here. I can just come here. Come on, computer now. Yeah. Put down alone. Okay, I'll say load. I just want it to be a connection only. I'll say okay. And I'm coming here too. I'll say data from table ranges. Okay. And I'll say, and I'll call this table Lagos. Right? Muamu ele. You go now, coach, be connection only. A little bit, you can close. But I'm don't slow. Computer me down with the delay. Because the dialog bug is open. I'm not being me. The dialog box is open. Let me close this one. 802. My computer is hanging up. So this one, I decided to say connection only to. Okay, get me. Now, if I now come back here and open my connection only thing, I can now decide to combine the two of them together and call it coalition center. So if I say append is new. Let me just a demo. Because from next week, it will make more sense to you when Kunle starts Power BI with you. My computer is acting up very badly. I don't know why. Mi mango to ṣẹlẹ̀ o. What's the angle? Minati. Hopefully this works for you guys. Okay. So one there.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So can was in Levi. And money the table make it back and by coming into append as new. It's supposed to open a dialog box for me that will allow me to merge 2-3 tables together. For some random reasons, it's not coming up. And I don't know why. So,
well, I think we can stop here. Probably when it works, we can have a recorded version and we just send to them.
Yeah, I think that's it. But I'll send you a list of things that you need to go and watch. I'll send you a list of things that you need to go and Google. Interactive water, Google got there to call. If it's no CV, you can send this Apple CV in see me. Go to the job Friday in Bo. Check Bo.
All right.
Yeah. So in Katio Shelenia. Is there any question? Any major question? Kelly, any major question? Hello?
No.
No question. Okay. If you have questions, ask me directly. If you watch the video and you are confused about something, I am happy to help. But if I realize that you are shipping, if I realize that you are shipping, I am always willing to help. But if you are not shipping, you will not see the good side of me. I just don't have the time. Sorry that tonight has been a very rough one. We just ran through everything. But I'll send you a list of things you can watch. Thank you and God bless you.
So just to quickly mention that.
Thank you very much, God bless you, sir.
This very seriously. A lot of you here know that we are offering this course for £500. Yeah, that's about 500,000 plus in Nigeria for a full course. So we're giving it for free, but we want you to really, really take advantage of it and make something good out of it. Thank you for coming and have a very wonderful evening.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.